Beautiful day, you beautiful, beautiful beings of light. How are we doing on this beautiful Sunday today? We are back for another Jumpstart Sunday to help mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepare you for the week ahead. Last week, we talked about that word called love. Love being a verb, which is an action word. It is something that you must do and not say. There's a particular vibration of love, a particular frequency of love. So you cannot say that you are actually loving someone if you are not hitting that particular vibration. Do y'all feel me? And this week, I want us to analyze our relationships, who we are. Do we attract that perfect vibration of love from others? Or are we not loving ourselves enough to even receive that from anyone else? So this past week, I have been assessing myself and the relationships that I have. Spirit has told me for some time now that I do have more people that I need to remove from my life. But those doggone memories, codependency, and loyalty keeps people around way past their expiration date. Within this past 2 months, I have had to get rid of two very, very important people in my life. They were important to me because they were there during some really tough times in my life where I felt like I really needed somebody. I was extremely codependent and insecure, and they gave me a little bit more than others gave me in my life. So I was extremely grateful and I was extremely clingy. When I say clingy, I mean I just wouldn't let them go. I'm just someone who holds on to people and things longer than I need. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Part of self-evaluation is seeing ourselves in those we have around us. If the people that you have closest to you has some serious hang-ups, such as codependency, or narcissism, or conceitedness, or selfishness, if they have any of these characteristics and then some, we should always analyze ourselves and see when we may be exhibiting that same behavior and we ourselves have those same characteristics. In these past 2 months, I've come to realize that I am more selfish than I would like to believe. I am more self-serving than I would have liked to believe. I am even more narcissistic than I definitely wanted to admit. But paying attention to the relationships that I had in my life made me acknowledge who I was in certain situations. It may not have been with those individuals, but who I was to others, because those characteristics are not the ones that I want to exhibit in my life anymore. Not only that, I do not want to invite those same type of people in my life anymore. I have learned that I have a habit of inviting people who are only around for what I can do for them and not for who I am as a person. Now, when I look at myself, I immediately say, well, I'm not that way. I don't create relationships with people for what they can do for me. And I definitely don't think that this person is going to be here for me no matter what, and they're always going to be there when I call. That's not my first thought of who I am at all. But when I dig deeper, I definitely notice that I have this unfulfilled need to be accepted, for people to validate me as a person. And that is what I mean when I say that I'm more selfish than I may want to believe, I am more self-serving than I may want to believe, or even narcissistic than I want to believe. Of course, narcissism is created by lack of validation, by lack of attention. People become narcissists because they were missing so much nurturing and validation in their younger years. They had to do that for themselves. So when you meet an adult who acts as though it is a privilege to be in their presence, that is their only way of coping with that extreme loneliness and fear of rejection. codependency, arrogance, and many other negative characteristics that adults may have now, they are all coping mechanisms from childhood. Being able to acknowledge that I am a lot more selfish than selfless than I had once wanted to acknowledge was a hard reality to come to. Because knowing that everything that I do out of love and sincerity. But there's a part of me that feels like what I'm doing is going to help fulfill a need within me. Analyzing myself and seeing that these characteristics that I do not like in the people that I have closest to me are some of the same characteristics that I am exhibiting in different situations in my life has caused me to create some very clear boundaries and remove myself from some very unhealthy relationships. So I'm sure I'm not the only person who has kept those around who are no longer serving my higher self, either out of compassion, out of loneliness, out of gratitude, or out of sheer comfort. We keep people in our lives for many reasons that are not helpful for either ourselves or that individual. So let's assess ourselves, assess the circle we have, and move forward from whatever that is not serving us any longer.